Hey guys, end of week 12, going into week 13. There's like 2 minutes left in the Steelers game to the halftime, so hitting it on the end of the week. But it looks like the games are pretty much a done deal. I'm gonna go through the games quick because you guys can all look at matchups, and I think I'm gonna focus more on the dynasty element and attack one team specifically today. Hint, it's Gile. But let's breeze through these matchups. Me and Sam, I did not have a chance with that Tyreek Hill game, but James Robinson, stud. Ronald Jones, looking good. Happy about my future with running backs. Joey and Gile slapping him. David Montgomery, though, and Antonio Gibson. That trade, we're going to talk about Antonio Gibson later. Josh, smackdown. Double pointed him almost. Projected, not quite, but just wild. Josh is trouble for Sam. Hi, Gooby. Okay. Yeah, Josh is trouble for Sam. He's not, like, Mahomes and Kels can go off. And Kels did not go off in this game, and he still put up crazy numbers. And it wasn't like one guy booming. It was just like Mahomes and then Chubb, and then everybody else did good. So Josh is trouble. If he had a pick to trade, he would be even more dangerous if he kept some picks around. Cameron Austin. Hi, Ellie. Austin could have played an optimal lineup, still would have lost. Derek Carr with 0.6 is hilarious. Like, every fantasy site was like, Derek Carr as they played this week. Yeah? Okay. Every fantasy site was like, you know what? This week, I'd bench Russell Wilson for Derek Carr. Fantasy pros had him ranked higher. That did not go well. And then Daniel and Logan. Do you want to say hi to the camera? Say hi. That's an elephant. This one looks pretty much wrapped up. Daniel should get the dub here. Cooper, Mike Evans, doing well. Cooper's gone, though. He traded Cooper. So he's going to have Zeke next week. Interesting. The long-term playoff picture, let's look. Do we have any interesting matchups next week? So, like, if Logan wins next week, he's automatically in the playoffs. If Lanza wins, I think he needs Joey to lose, basically. Yeah, because he's got a few more points than Joey, but Joey that's a margin that Joey could outscore, and Logan has less than both of them. So if Logan loses and Lanza wins this week, Lanza knocks Logan back, and if Joey wins, also locks Logan out. So that's an interesting little dynamic there. Josh, Daniel, Sam, all safe. Gile plays Cameron. If he loses, his points are so high, I don't think... Yeah, no, his points are like 300 more. He's not getting locked out. There's just a frozen boombox yelling, and it is awful. She just threw it. I respect that. Next week's going to be entertaining. I'm excited to see it. If I had won this game, I would have been in it, which would have been fun. But then having Josh, not making that easy either. But that would have been fun. What I wanted to talk about was Zach Giles' team. Let's go to him specifically. How do I just click on one guy? Come on. Do I have to go down here? They don't make this easy for you. Here we go. It's a good team. Drake, Aaron Jones, Devontae, Justin Jefferson, Antonio Brown, Robbie Anderson. A-Rob was on his... He left Allen Robinson on his bench this week? Is that true? Okay, I'm shutting this.
No.
I don't know where it went.
No.
It's coming back soon. Okay.
Okay, just...
Because if he played A-Rob, he would have had an even better week. Yeah, he didn't play him. That's interesting. Foolish young boy. But Gile, his team is solid. But let's go to week 1 and look at Gile's team. Rodgers, who Lanza has traded, he traded for Russ, and Rodgers has outscored him every single week since that trade. plus Debo, who went off last week and is looking like the truth, and Mims, who's not doing too bad. He traded 2 good wide receivers for a quarterback that did not improve his team. The Logan special. Not Logan. Gile special. Could be the Logan special, though. He had Terry. Appreciate that. A young wide receiver. 25. This is my life. Kittle on his IR, but traded for Allen Robinson. Terry. J-Rob. Killing it for me. Thank you. Terry and J-Rob have outscored Aaron Jones and Allen Robinson since our trade, and both significantly younger. On his bench, he had Gibson, who we traded away. Yeah. Like, he made some good trades. Like, he traded me for Connor, which looks smart. Connor died. 2 seconds. Nobody would make that trade now. Essentially, and even his trade with Lanza, where he traded away Gibson, got Chubb, so he traded Pitts and Gibson, who, in a vacuum right now, those guys are very close in Dynasty. Like, I don't have, if you told me to pick one, I'd take whichever one you gave me. I'm certainly not throwing a first round on either of them. And what was that trade? I feel like it had quite a bit in it. Let's go to Gibson's. I'm not used to using it on the computer. Yeah, I don't see where you... Okay, here we go. So it's Gibson and a first for Chubb, Debo, and Snell, who I just picked up off waivers. Which that's actually fair value. I still would take Gibson. Would I take Gibson? That's actually a really good trade. Joey made out like a bandit here. McCaffrey still God tier, but Gibson, Judy, 2 firsts, and a third. That's solid. Man, the Ravens are not playing as bad as they should, and the Steelers are not playing as good as they should. That's upsetting. But my point in all of this was that Gile went from a young team. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, James Robinson, Antonio Gibson, 3 rookie running backs. Taylor yet to break out. He might. Adams, McLaurin, Justin Jefferson. I don't know if anybody would pick a better 3 wide receiver core than that. Kittle, Dynasty TE1, easily. I mean, that's like a full lineup. Plus Hawkinson, who's a top 5 Dynasty tight end, with all these pieces on his team. Robbie Anderson sitting there. Alan Lazard sitting there. Mims sitting there. I mean, Paris Campbell looking good. He blew up his team. I mean, now he has 1 million picks for the future, which good for him. He needed that after imploding. Like Allen Robinson, Aaron Jones. I think that Russell Wilson trade tilted him. He made it, and he's like, I'm going all in. And then he traded me 2 young guys for 2 older guys, and I got a first. I gave him my next year's second. I'm hoping to be better next year, and that second will be worth very little. But he has a first, a second, and 2 fourths this year. And then he's got 1 million firsts next year. But his team is still good. But it was amazing. And he just suicide bombed his own squad. I mean, Gibson and J-Rob, he got for a third and $7 fab. That's incredible. And then he just blew it all away. I mean, he got like the top waiver guy in 2 years. Like, Shark was good. I don't know what she's doing. You okay? Okay. Shark was good. J-Rob, they're both Jags. Interesting how that happens. He's like the equivalent, if not a little more, because he's a top 5 running back at this point, I believe. Oh, wow. They stopped him. Good. Hold him. What is he right now? I don't like the desktop version of this. It doesn't feel good. He's the RB4 in standard and PPR. That's absurd. Off for $7. Right? Yeah, $7. Crazy. I love our trade. Thank you, Zach. He's bailed me out. He's bailed my team out so many times now. Our initial big trade to start off the league was I sent Devontae Adams and Damian Williams for Aaron Jones and Odell Beckham, which wasn't crazy. I still like my side of that. I traded him James White, MVS, and a second for Terry. Not Terry, for Calvin Ridley. Love that. So thank you, Zach. This episode is it's going to be called Thank You, Zach. Can you say thank you, Zach?
No.
Say thank you, Zach. Say thank you.
No.
Okay. Say thank you.
No.
She definitely pooped. So I'll have to deal with that. Can you say bye to the nice people?
No.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to be going through everybody's team, doing a little deep dive. Can you say hi?
Hi.
There we go. Doing a little deep dive. Gile's still a top 3 team, top 4. And I like his team at the beginning of the year. I think anyone would trade with him. Like youth, studs, just killers with some draft capital. No, please don't touch.
Lucas.
Can you back up for me?
No.
Yes. So if you want to be next, shoot me a text. But I'm going to go through everybody's teams. Maybe I'll do 2 next week.
Lucas.
Okay. Can you say bye?
Bye.
Bye to the nice people. Good luck on next week's matchups.
Hey.
Text people who aren't contending if you want to trade. And have a good rest of your week, everybody. Bye.
No.